Today, we're going to cover the posting strategy to get noticed in school communities. Because before, I was making a video about commenting. And when comments are just not good enough anymore, then the next step for that is to create content. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you 3 different quests that you can choose so you can actually earn XP, level up, and visually see the progress along the journey. So, hey there, I'm Luke. I have been pinned multiple times in different communities by sharing my proof, by celebrating the community, by interviewing the admins, by shouting out the different communities. And you can see they were all like highly engaged posts, collaborating with people across different communities. And all of these posts were ultimately pinned. I think that is the goal of every post, to get pinned in that community. And that's what we're going to cover today as the plan. So we're going to focus on the ideation phase, on like how to come up with the right ideas, then how to write these posts, and then how to get to the next level and actually leverage the different videos. So let's start with the ideas. There are different ways where we can start having an idea. And I think the ways that usually help me is through meditation. So I kind of just reflect and think about what kind of content can I produce by going on a walk, or just having moments in my life, getting a win, getting a client, helping a client win. These moments are also key when we are telling stories. In the stories, we have a clear starting point, and this is the opposite of the surprise because they usually start in the opposite way that they end. So when we think about a love story, usually the main characters are just being broken up with, or they are being shown alone on a farm wanting to have a big impact, and then at the end being celebrated for having destroyed the Death Star, for example. So there are certain stakes in every story, and then the moment where the identity is actually changing. These are the moments, and this is like the change that we want to highlight within the stories. And if we have an idea with that kind of story, it's gonna work and perform much better. So this is the way that I like to structure it. How can I include different visual elements, like a thumbnail, having a title that is clear and precise, and then having a twist. So having a hook that is a little bit contrarian, and making sure that people are getting something that they were not necessarily expecting. So with all of that, we have the perfect ideas. So we can now start posting. So throughout the posting, I think there are 3 specific kind of posts that we can use. And I see this a little bit like having different weapons at our arsenal. We can have like one lightsaber, we can have like a dual lightsaber, we can have a staff, we can have like different pistols. All of these are ways that we can leverage and different posts that we can create. So one of the easiest posts to write is an appreciation post. And I think there are 3 different kinds of appreciation posts again. One for the community, and like something that happened in the community that we're grateful for, the owner, for the members, for like value that we've gotten from it. Usually the value also is coming from the classroom. So shouting out the classroom and saying that we were able to receive some value from that, or a specific calendar event, and saying like, hey, this was like a great call that we've on, this is what I learned, and appreciating those kind of things. And this is what community owners want to highlight, because they want other people to see the value within the community, within the classroom, and within the calendar. So when we have done a few appreciation posts, we can start digging a little bit deeper and do some breakdown posts. And I like to start these always with a question, because this is inviting engagement. Ideally, we have an easy question that we can ask, and then adding some context and like, why am I asking this question? Like, how is this related to the community? Because otherwise, it's going to feel like just doing market research, or we are trying to gain as many leads as possible. But we want to give a reason why we're mentioning this. And it's like, hey, something I saw in Star Wars. And it's like, oh yeah, like now you have a reason to post in the game because like that's a theme within our community. And then adding a story to that. And this is where you can now start presenting yourself and start building authority and provide value to other people that they can then connect to the transformation that you have achieved. And these are usually also done mostly in celebration posts. And we can celebrate three different things again. We can celebrate our inputs and like what have we done. It's like I hopped on this many calls. Um I was able to reach out to this many people. We have output, as in I got this many new clients, or I was able to hit this subscriber count, or a general transformation on like I used to be at this like undesirable state and like broke and alone, and now I like have a six pack and I'm making money and I'm traveling the world. So these transformations and like the middle in there, this is where we can put the story. And ideally, we are still shouting out either the community, the classroom, or the calendar, and still starting with a question, adding context and the story. And then we can celebrate either our inputs, our outputs, or a specific transformation. So these are all building blocks that we can use when creating a post, and not saying you have to use all of them. But the more of them we use without it becoming confusing, the higher the likelihood goes up that the post is getting pinned. And from here on, when we are having posts, we can go to the next level and start thinking about, can we create videos and share videos? And this is kind of tricky when we are posting the videos in other communities, but I still want to cover the core concepts around that. So generally, I like the promise proof plan framework from Alex Hermosi around the video creation process. And in the promise, we want to start with something big, confirming the click. So, in this video, I'm going to show you how to destroy the second Death Star. Most people think they need to just use the like machines, for example, but at the end, you're actually going to learn how to do this in a different way and use the force to guide yourself. See, like the key aspect is that we're having like a clear promise that people can follow. And from there on, we want to back up this promise by proof. So ideally, we have done it ourselves as well as having done it for others multiple times. And if we show people that this is something that happened, then they're much more likely to continue watching the video and actually listen to what we're saying because we've built this authority. And then we want to give people a plan on what they can expect. Starting with like, hey, we're going to start with a quick win and like trying to get into the trenches. We're going to face a main problem on like the enemy TIE fighters. And then we'll have to make sure that there is like one person who can like specifically shoot the photon laser to blow up the Death Star. And having all of these aspects rounds up the video, and then we can dive a little bit deeper. And as you can see, this is exactly what I've been doing in here because this is now part of the plan aspect. So videos is one aspect. Then having post is the second part of the plan. Ideas is the first part. And we went through all of the proof that I started here, and we had a promise. And now we're going to go deeper into the quest to actually apply the thing that you've just learned. So if you're part of the Jedi Academy, you can actually get real experience points from that. And we are currently in the night training. This is the second part where we are now not in the comments anymore, but we're in posting. And there are three quests that have a different difficulty from like easy on having one pinned get post, medium on having like a video get post, to like hard having like 10 pin posts. And as you can see, as we check these things off, the progress goes up as well as our experience points. And we are able to like visually see the things that we've been doing that allows us to actually get that transformation and do the work that is required. So that was it for this week. Next time, we're going to go deeper into hosting. So I'm already excited for that. And until then, enjoy the journey and have fun. Peace.